hear these youngins by the slang that I bit first, and I can't even get no credit for it. That shit hurt. Yeah, we been nerds, not the type to use big words. Still down to throw you if you throwin' the fist first. Fail face, but every now and then I don't get curved. Still end up broken hearted, that we get what we deserve. Freaks show they staring and don't ask for no pictures, cause I'm a giant man like I'm Fishburne. Maybe cause I'm hotter than the grease with a fish burn. We're slacking now, I'm putting in that work like an intern. I probably won't gain lives, like trading in your system to GameStop. Don't really rap about what I ain't got. Been me since back when I could fit in the tank top. You think I'm ever changing? I think not. Hit the taco truck and I can show you the flame spots. They only taking cash and now I'm making the bank stop. Think cock, don't say a word, just open that safe lock. Now I'm playing the ATM, broken the rain wide. Raindrops falling on my head. I hate cops, ain't talking to the feds. Zombie mode on a rocky road, walking like I'm dead. Need to pick me up that I will eat the chocolate with the bread. Still trash, just now me in my pockets get a fed. That's real rap, now I can pay for guac without a sweat. You feel that? Playlist full of Indian drill trap. Problems, I got 99 on me, I'm Lil Sap. But fucking never cried over spilled paps. Never crying over who spilled that. Young medicine man, and I'm looking to peel caps. Yeah. Put on the beat and I will snap. Put on the beat, I'ma kill that.
What's up, folks? We live. We're up in the mix. My soundboard ain't responding. Hold on. Yeah, no, it ain't doing shit. I must have messed it up. I'm not gonna let this. There we go. I'm not gonna let this die. I refuse to start off without fake applause. There we go. I had to please my fucking vainness, okay? That's not even a word, but we're going to say it anyways because we don't give a fuck. What's up, everybody? It's Ryne Radio. Hey, hello, howdy. Of course, I'm Ryan Rockins. Episode 102. We're, what is this? Wednesday, January the 13th, 2021. Fresh off of a fucking, we're on a weird one this week. We're on a weird one this week in just terms of the world and all that kind of stuff and nonsense. Pop open this crunchy water. Take a sip. Start giving y'all some ASMR. Anyway. Whoop. Hey, hello, howdy. Yeah, that's what I was saying. We got a special guest here tonight. Not here. He's going to be on fucking a Zoom call. The homie Matthew McCarron. I started doing comedy in 2018. I started open micing. And he more or less started like a couple months before me. So we would just run into each other at a lot of the different spots. And, you know, of course, just a relationship kind of grew just because, you know, when we would talk, we had that in common that we both only just started comedy and whatnot. So I always like to touch in with him every now and then, and especially because he hosts a show himself. Am I Making Sense with Matthew McCarron? You should check that out on YouTube. I'm going to bring the boy on Zoom up a little bit. I'm just trying to think if there's any fucking real crazy battle rap news or any other, you know, like news. I don't really think so. Like, we're kind of in the same place as we were in terms of all the stuff and all the things. Congratulations to Saint and Real Deal. That's gonna be an entertaining battle when that happens. But yeah, I guess without further ado, let me call up the boy and let's get this crack-a-lacking. And I think I sent it. So does he just, yep. Easy peasy. I get why people do this now. This should work. Bang. Why is this not? Hold on. I can't. I hear you, but I'm not. I don't have you yet. Why don't I have him? Where? Hello?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, bang. Bang. There we go. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you, man.
Likewise, dude. Yeah, you got a fancy fucking, yeah, I like your background. Yeah, dude, it's been a minute, man. It's almost been, I think you came on the show June or July or something like that.
I think, when I came on? I came on when we thought we were about to get out of it.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Because
no.
I was kind of like, we're probably going to be, everyone's going to be going back to normal any day now. So I should go over to Ryne's. We do his show and then get ready to move on. And then it was like, it's just been, this whole time. So yeah, it's been a while. But hey, congratulations. You're on 102 now? Or?
102, yeah. I made my 100 episodes before the end of the year in 2020, which was
yeah.
I don't know. At a certain point, I hit 50 episodes at around October time, to where I was like, you know what? I wonder if I can hit another 50 before the end of the year. So
yes.
I just I slugged it out and I just kept it fucking going, and yeah. I made it there. I made it there, and then now here we are, 102. And now the kind of goal is just to do 2 a week, so then I can probably hit 200 before the end of the year and not have to do, because I was doing some where I was 2 in a day, and
I remember that.
Some every other, pretty much every day.
Yeah.
I see I see my camera's going crazy on your end, but can you hear me really well?
Yeah. Can you?
I can see you really well, and then the people that watch the show right now can see me really well. But if that camera's not gonna even work like that, then that's gonna be a thing.
Well, no. You know what? I don't think we could either just go to audio on this one.
Yeah. Or, I'm totally cool with it. I just meant on your end, if you're wondering about it, just don't even sweat it, because we could still see me on the video, because this is all taking place off my big DSLR anyway. So it's that doesn't even matter.
I'm watching it. I'm watching it real time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So I see the little squiggly and stuff. But can't you can turn that one off in Zoom, can't you?
I think I could just put my cover on it, and we'll just do that right there.
Oh, okay.
Bang.
There we go.
Bang. So it's not even distracting. But so yeah, you've been chugging along though, I see, with your show as well.
Yeah. You know what? It's gotten kind of easy with Zoom.
Right?
Yeah. Because now it's like the last one I did, the guy's located Mudet Verma. He's located out of the Baltimore, DC area. And we were just hitting up. I don't know if you're doing Zoom mics, but I've been trying to do Zoom mics every day.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just I'm not, it's weird because in Zoom, you're not really meeting people.
Yeah.
But you see the same people over and over again. And so I'm just hitting them up. Like, hey, you wanna join the podcast? And people are always nice. So yeah, it's been good. I don't know. So what are your feelings? That's why I wanted to talk with you. I'm kind of wondering, I had just assumed when this whole thing kicked off is like, okay, I'm going to wait a little bit. And then when it comes time for us to go back to normal, I'm going to 100% just switch back to doing this in my garage, inviting people over to the house.
Yeah.
And then just going out to normal, open mics. But now I'm starting to think, I don't know. I think Zoom might still be a part of business. Like this might be the new business as usual.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's part of that because there's certainly some jobs that are like if you could do it remotely, because there's some things that like they probably didn't even realize they could do remotely, and then once they did, they're like, well, why don't like going forward, like I see like a lot of these tech companies are saying like, oh, we might even just stay remotely going forward because to save up on traffic and things like that. To where it's like, yeah, that'd be awesome, but I don't know, me personally, like I can't wait just to go back into like bars again and tell jokes. Like I've been wanting to hit these outdoor mics, but I just don't get off work in time because they happen like in the daytime and whatnot. Man. Especially now with like the vaccines rolling out, I'm hoping maybe probably not by this year, but maybe this time next year we're more at a different place where all right, they like start letting up things, even if things will fucking survive. Who knows?
You said it right there. Because, yeah, I agree with you. By this time next year, man, knock on wood, we better be back online. But I don't know. For instance, the Santa Cruz scene, they had a couple of really cool mics that were at different bars, different pubs. And then there was also that DNA Comedy Lounge, which was an actual old theater that they renovated to do stand-up comedy in.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff's been shut down just because, they couldn't keep paying the lease for their bars.
Makes sense.
And I don't know about Woodham's and Caravan. I think Woodham's and Caravan, as far as I know, they're going to be coming back. I don't know about the, Pepper Tree and in East Bay over in Newark.
Yeah, probably
and
not.
Some of these other ones, I don't know. Oh, I do know. I spoke with Iman a while ago, a couple months back, and he said that the guy who owns Swinging Door, like he's good. I don't know if he like owns the building or whatever, but he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. He can be shut down as long as he wants to be shut down. Maybe he's a rich guy or something. I don't know.
And like things are going to be like that too. It's just like, it's unfortunate because we were kind of like starting to pick up like a weird little boom over here.
Yeah.
I felt like, I mean, I don't know, maybe because I'm just biased because I'm like, I started out in the Bay Area, but it's like, it seems like when I talk, because like I did like a mic like in Albuquerque and whatnot. When I talk to other people elsewhere, like they have to like swim through hell and high water to like find mics. To where I was just like, oh no, we just got this like Google Calendar and you can just, there's like
it's all
30
there.
something mics a night or whatever the fuck. But you know what? As unfortunate as it is, there's kind of, I think there is a silver lining to it because then it's just like it's hard to stand out when there's a big ass crowd, like in terms of like maybe there's like there's an argument for like oversaturation. So then it's like, okay, well, something like this can shake things up. I'm not saying like this is like a great thing, but it's just like things happen like that in terms of, especially like mics, and it's like older comics have that to where they're like, they have their stories of like, oh yeah, I used to go to this one room. It was they just fucking let us do this in the back of the Mexican restaurant. They paid us some tacos and fucking, it was great. Fucking, we only did it for like a year though, until fucking, we had too many people in there and the fire marshal kicked us out, whatever the fuck. It's like, there's always shit like that. Throughout time to where it's just like, oh yeah, we had a room here. It didn't really work out. I mean, And fuck, there's always going to be a comic that wants to start a room just for his own stage time or her own stage time, because that's the best way to get your own time is when you host a room, because then you got the whole entire night. It's just if you're a savage and you can actually just like sitting there and just hack it out all night long. But
I think that's true. But I also think another thing about our scene here, we're very spoiled in that we have a lot of choices. And another thing is we get a lot of time. Like 6 minutes for us is kind of not a big deal. You know, like I've had both Pete and Atu and Derek. All these guys have left me on stage for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like in big markets, you don't get that. It's like 5 minutes, boom, 5 minutes, boom, 5 minutes. I go to some of these Zoom mics on the East Coast run by New York comics, and it's like 5 minutes, man. Like there's you don't dilly dally. They light you at 5, and if you're going over on 5, they're like, "That's your time. That's your time."
Yeah, no, it's a 5-5. It's not okay, here's your light and get like another 2 off.
Yeah,
like no, it's a fucking here's your light and you better be saying your name and like stopping very soon.
100%. That's been my experience.
As that should be though, because it's like not only just because you're wasting other people's time.
Yes.
You know, but you should be at a point to where you know how to cut the fat to where like I've always kind of felt like, even though it's frustrating because, you know, I'm somewhat of a creative person and I don't like limits on myself, but I have my best moments when someone puts a bunch of stipulations on me for things, you know, to where it's like, okay, you have a deadline or you have this, and this to meet, to where it's just like, I'll be like frustrated and stressed out, but sometimes I produce like my best shit because I'm like really sit and intent on like meeting that quota. So it's like, okay, if it's like a hard 5, then I have to really sift through my shit and be like, all right, what's my best shit and how can I get in and out of it as smoothly as possible and as just natural and just get it off, to where it's just like there is a power to like, even, you know, it shouldn't have to even take someone else to like keep you to a hard ass time. It's like you should have that within yourself. I feel like, just to be like, all right, fuck, I gotta get a good 5 then. All right, and it should be like, let's try to get the best off within that stipulation.
I think you're right. I think the good ones know how long each joke takes. They've worked it out in such a precise way that they just go, okay, well, and I'm sure it changes for crowd density and, you know, the chemistry in the room. But I'm sure for them, they know what 5 minutes feels like, and they know when to wrap it up at 5 minutes, and the same for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So yeah, I think that's one of those things with, you know, music, like you got to develop rhythm and know when to jump in and when to jump out. I think that probably it's the same thing with telling your jokes. You have to know how long each one should take to get into, to pause for laughter or whatever, and then get out of. Deliver the punch and move on. Hey, someone in the chat, new Swami, said, I got some spots in Santa Cruz for you guys when we open back up. So I don't know if he's talking about comedy open mics or possibly. Is he? Oh, who is that? Who is new Swami?
Yeah, he's the homie. He's the Santa Cruz homie.
Nice.
Yeah, I know him. He's one of those folks that like I see him on my Facebook and I interact with them.
Nice.
But like I can't just recall the name.
Yeah.
It's like you know how like now, like how you just like have numbers saved in your phone so you don't even think about the number. There's like certain contacts on Facebook I don't even think about. I see them though, and I interact with their things, but then like I just don't even think about their name. But I do know him as New Swammy because he'd be popping up on my show. But I got him on my social medias too. So yeah, I'll touch in with the boy.
We'll see you soon, New Swami. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, because I haven't touched, like, I've just been doing this. So that's been my excuse to not do a Zoom mic.
Yeah.
Is because I'm just like, well, I'm already doing a show to where I feel like I'm double dipping too much in terms of like, because I'm like, well, anything, because I feel like at this point you can't, I don't know, I haven't even sat in on a Zoom show, but I personally feel like you shouldn't be like everything that we're doing right now should just be like stream of consciousness type shit, to where it's like if you're funny, just let whatever your crazy ass mind has and just let it go, and then see what happens, and then try to like go back and maybe like just kind of keep notes of some shit. Because I think like when you have like an act, I've seen clips of people pretty much just do their act on Zoom and like even like recreate a setup and stuff. And I'm like, I don't really know if that's the way right now, because it's like, to me, like I like some of my jokes, like I really like want to hold on to. I don't want to let go like that. To where like I'm like almost like that, like how like people that believe in voodoo say like fucking, oh, if you snap the picture, it takes a soul. I'm like, if I put it on camera, it's gone. Like I don't have it anymore. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to me anymore.
We think the same way. You know, I haven't done any of my jokes I used to do in person on Zoom. I just try to make up new stuff whenever I go. Well, not every time, but I'll just come up with new jokes. But a lot of that was because society changed so quick. I mean, it was like, whoop, here we are. We're in a pandemic world. And so I felt almost like whatever I was doing wasn't even relevant. So I just started coming up with new stuff for Zoom. But I agree with you, man. I agree with you in the sense that I don't think anyone has figured out how to really work Zoom. I think some people enjoy watching comedy on Zoom, but I think for the most part, it's just us comedians doing comedy to each other, which is, you know, as you know, is always tough because we're always thinking like, oh, I know exactly what he's going to say next, because you're thinking of the premise. So everyone's kind of, it's more like watching chess or something. They're not receiving it the same way someone who's just a fan of comedy. But I don't think anyone's figured out how to really make comedy, a Zoom comedy, you know, a big draw.
Yeah, I think like that's why I say, like, I feel like our best shot with it is just to make it like, you know, I take like just kind of like a radio approach with my show. Like I'm not a radio show by any means. I just call it a radio show. And, you know, it's a YouTube live show. I don't know what this really is, but you know, I just call it a radio show and I just treat it to that manner because I don't know, most of my favorite podcasts I listen to, I don't really watch because I'm at work. So it's like, I know, like, I don't upload this to all the appropriate like channels just because I'm a cheap ass. But yeah, I think I just really feel like there's just more power to like what you were saying about it's great on working things out. You know, and I'm sure it's an awesome workshop, especially because if you are seeing the same people and they are funny people, then it is just great. Like you can just kind of work things out. But it's different when you're like at the bar or at the mic and you hear somebody's same joke that you know they're working on, but there is a crowd there that they don't know. So it's like,
there we go.
Because then there's something to you being able to know, but still appreciating it because you get to watch someone else hear it for the first time. Whereas like you don't get that with Zoom, to where it's just like, all right, man, at this point, we're just like reciting lines.
Yeah, there's a lot you don't get with Zoom. And so you're right. You're kind of just reciting, you're writing your stuff down and kind of reading it out. I don't know. I'm sure there's people, like you said, memorizing their act and whatnot, but I'm just kind of like, it's stream of consciousness, but I'm like just writing things throughout the day. And then I go and I try to put them together on the Zoom. And then sometimes maybe I might like something. It's hard to even say that they like it because you're only looking at tiny squares, you know?
Yeah.
So you don't really know. You go like, okay, I heard some laughs. So I guess that's a working functional joke. But yeah, it's very different. But I do like what you said about you just doing your radio show or your vlog, whatever this is.
Yeah.
And I swear I'm like, I want to do exactly what you're doing, but I just get nervous because filling 30 to 40 minutes live, I feel like I would at some point just go, I was going live with this podcast format for a while, but I like you just go up by yourself sometimes, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you what my cheat code is though.
What's that?
Is I like I hide under like the guise of being a degenerate. So then it's like, oh well, if I'm fucking up, I'm just I smoke pot and I drink on this show. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
I'm just on here shooting the shit. And it's like I just don't take it seriously. So there's a more of a power to like not taking it seriously, especially because I'm somebody right now that has nothing to lose, so I could do whatever I want on this show. And like, there's nobody really, so it's like if I have like a moment of silence because I can't really think of the next thought, then fuck it, take it out of my fucking free ass paycheck. Come fucking making on here, like,
Yeah, I what was I gonna say?
Because then even yourself internally will be like, all right, what is the next thing I can say?
Exactly. You're pushing yourself. Can you do something like just out of nowhere, pull up a screen of like another YouTube video and riff on it, or no? Would that get you a copyright hit?
It depends. And the problem is with the whole it depends thing is I don't really find out until a video gets taken down.
Yeah.
Like, because for a while I was trying to watch a bunch of old wrestling, and then I found out that there's certain channels that even though they're like personal channels that aren't connected to the WWE, WWE has made a deal with those channels so they can stay up. They have the videos like because they're like well done. And because it's like stuff that the WWE doesn't want to put on their network, but then they don't want to put on their own YouTube channel. So they figure there's already a channel. So they just kind of license it, but it's like an unknown thing to where it's like, because it's like I have videos of my show that are taken down and it's like, oh, copyright claim by WWE Entertainment Company and shit. I was like, this channel has nothing even to do with them, I thought, but you never know. And that's why I say that's the problem with it is it's a weird game because YouTube doesn't have like, they kind of have a specific criteria, but then it's, they kind of don't at the same time. So it's like, my secret is for that. I have the privilege of like, I took over this channel that already has so much content on it. That it's nothing just to be like, all right, let's watch an old battle today. Or whatever, And there's people that have a history with this channel that I can have conversations with on the show and things like that. So there's a lot that I'm like, a lot of it's luck, but a lot of it's also like taking advantage of that luck and trying to still like turn something out of it. Especially because like during the pandemic, most everybody else is just like running back old content and giving reviews on it to some degree or whatever. And it's like in the battle rap world, I'm really nobody, but I'm at like so many of our events from the past before I like got in this position that I am now. Like I was just in the crowd or like, I was just starting out myself. So it's like, there's a perspective that I can add on things still, even if I'm not like some fucking super top tier battle rapper or anything like that. It's just I was there. I have a connection to it.
Yeah. You're in the game. Is there any battle rap going on right now or no?
Oh yeah, no, we've been doing things because we have we run things out of a clubhouse to where nobody's gonna be really running up in there and doing anything. So, and we've been having events where we've been like serving food and doing all the stuff in the things like
nice.
And it's been, people wear masks. It's out. The main thing is it's all out. It's outside. So it's like, it's an enclosed area, but then there's no roof. So it's like,
oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what I've been thinking. I've been thinking for a comedy club, given how we saw that the government can come in and just shut things down so quickly.
Yeah.
I think that going forward, all comedy clubs are going to have to figure out, like, you're going to want to buy a location where there's an outdoor
like a patio
auditorium or stage or something simple where if this kind of thing happens again, you could just move the show outside. So like, I think back patios, courtyards, whatever else those things are called that are enclosed inside a building, those are going to become a hot commodity for any kind of performance, right?
Right.
Because it could be concerts, it could be comedy, whatever. if you're enclosed, well, then that's a whole nother level that you're being regulated at than outdoors. And even outdoors, I think the state has shut things down again, right? You can't dine outdoors anymore.
The problem is just California kind of seems to just kind of be making it up as they go along. So it's just
100%.
like you don't even really know what you're doing wrong one day. Like all of a sudden it's right on Thursday, and on Friday it's illegal. So it's like, all right.
No, that's been the case.
Because like our shows we've been doing has been on the down low like a motherfucker. I mean, we've been having little it's a gathering for sure, but
yeah,
it's people that still need to pay their fucking leases, and they still got their own fucking other bills to pay and kids to feed and shit like that. And like we've been making, we've been helping folks fucking, like we've been having folks that like make good ass food that can't have a catering business. So they come over to our shit and they fucking make us a bunch of great ass food because they haven't been able to like really get their shit off in a while. So it's just like, that's the thing, is like all of this shit, it only drives the black markets. Like, and like a black market, like that term is used so like nefarious for, it's such a blanket term for all things. But it also like it really just means just things that aren't like sanctioned, right?
Yeah.
Or like recognized in terms of like how because there is a safety element to just cooking fucking food and serving it out to people if you're not like licensed and whatnot. But when you're not like allowing that, people are still gonna do it. Like just because you make like laws doesn't necessarily mean like people are gonna follow them. It just means like you're just causing things to be done in different ways now. Like I have people in this apartment building that like they were like cooking, like one of the apartments are like connected to the street. They had like their porch area set up.
Oh, that's so bad.
Like, they had like their porch area set up as like a register kind of area. You like put in the order with them, and then they were just cooking out of their kitchen that's like in their apartment.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, and it was fucking. I mean, I think they got in trouble at some point, but
you're gonna get eventually someone from the whatever that is that
the county health or something.
Yeah,
like
there
that.
you go.
There's always a fucking snitch, but it's just like there's always the underground. There's always the underground. So it's just like and like I said, like that's the secret of my show. It's like I dwell in the underground. So it's like.
Yeah.
Whether it's this channel or other people that I know, like there's a lot of people that I know that I can like watch their things that I know it won't like get pulled down or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, that's a hard one to play sometimes.
That's dope, man. I like that you're still doing that. I think that's probably how comedy will come out. But you're right. They do comedy at baseball fields now too, don't they? I've been seeing that more and more.
And I would be down as fuck to do that, because to me that makes sense. Like I don't know how they're doing it. I've seen it to where like the comment, like I would do it, like I would be like, depending on how loud the speaker is, it's like I'll sit behind the fence or I'll stand behind the fence, and then everybody just like sits in the dugout or wherever the fuck.
That's what they were doing. The few I've seen is basically you're at like home plate and the audience is behind as a spectator to the game, except you're facing them instead of facing the field.
And then I've seen for a short while they were doing like I guess they might still be doing it, where they're doing like the shows outdoors where fucking like cars just like pull up and they honk at you if they think you're doing good. Yeah,
instead of laughing, people honk.
Dude, I'm a fucking professional. Like I'm a UPS driver, so it's like I would just get my road rage would just kick in. Like people would just honk at me. I'd be like, "Stick it up your fucking ass." But then I'm like, oh my bad, that's okay, y'all are doing good.
So I gotta ask you, man, so you're in traffic all day. Is traffic better or worse? Because I only go out every once in a while, and some days it feels like, man, it's still all these people are dying or leaving California and the traffic still sucks.
when it first happened, it was dead. It was genuinely dead. Like people were honestly following it and things like that. And it was genuinely like I can absolutely see a difference. And I can see a difference because I have 2 schools on my route.
Oh yeah.
So they haven't been doing I haven't been getting any packages for them or anything like that. So I don't need to go to them. And like, you know, when they were in session, fucking around 3 o'clock, there's always like my whole goal was to like get a certain area done before 3 o'clock, because like all the like parents would be like coming in to like pick up their kids and whatnot, and it's like a tiny area, so I haven't had to deal with any of that anymore
That's
now. So that's a big difference. That's been noticeable. And there's been businesses on my route. Like I've gotten to see like the whole portrait of 2020 last year. Like in terms of like I got to work. It was very strange because like my own like bubble changed not at all. But I watched like the whole world like just like kind of, you know, like especially during like, you know, like everybody was like boarding up their windows for a while. So like, you know, because I have like a gun store on my route and things like that. So it's like, you know, I've seen businesses be boarded up. I've seen businesses be shut down. I've already seen businesses shut down and be stripped out and new ones are there, you know, like I've already seen like such a strange difference in the landscape. But like in terms of just like traffic, like and right now, I was driving around today, like I was like, things must be getting back to fucking normal, because fucking there's a lot of fucking people out today. But I don't know. It seems like I said, it kind of does seem like it's getting a little bit back to normal. Like if it feels like how it was before we went under last year.
That's the sense I'm getting. The sense I'm getting is that probably, and that's probably why the hospitals are filling up. Is everyone's just kind of like, I'm just going back to life. Like, I don't care. I'll put the mask on, but I'm going back to life. But the schools, the public schools still haven't opened up, which kind of drives me crazy because I got 2 kids.
Yeah.
I wish they would open that up, but whatever, man. Whatever we got to do to be safe. But hey, so let me ask you a personal question. Have you got the Rona yet or no?
No.
No.
I mean, I haven't had I haven't been sick at all, so I could have possibly been asymptomatic at some point.
Yeah.
But I've not. No one within my circle has been sick or tested positive for coronavirus, so I've not yet like gotten tested myself, just because I'm like, all right, maybe I've had it and been asymptomatic, or I've not had it yet. I'm not sure. Yeah. Haven't been tested yet.
I haven't been tested, so I've never felt sick, knock on wood, this whole time.
Same.
But I don't know that I have antibodies or not if I got it. My brother had it, but I hadn't seen him around when he had it. And but he didn't he said it was just congestion. I don't even think he was fevering or anything. And so a lot of these mics that I joined, these Zoom mics, so I'm like, comics are just bumping into comics like nationwide all over the place, right? And so many people have mentioned that they've had it, but I think most people, it's just mild symptoms. And then check this out. I read this today, Ryne. There was an article where doctors are speculating that, you know, in maybe a couple more seasons, that this COVID, this thing that like totally shut us down, it'll move through like the population just kind of like a common cold.
Yeah.
Right? Because the virus isn't going to go anywhere. But the upshot of the article was something like, we're all going to end up somehow being exposed to it. We're going to get our vaccination, and then the kind of the immune system will start to treat it more like a cold, and it won't be as deadly. But it won't be like one of these things where if you get the sniffles, oh, I need to get tested for COVID, because the medical community will just be like, oh, that's just COVID. As long as you have mild symptoms, don't worry about it.
And I feel like it's going to get to that place. I think it was just an overreaction right at the start. I mean, I'm no fucking medical expert. It just feels like it was such an overreaction at the start because they didn't know what it was, right?
Yep.
So it's just like, I get it. So, but it's like at the same time, though, there has been enough time passed to where they know it's not good, but it's not as such a dire of a situation. I mean, they were thinking like fucking supply lines were gonna like go down and like shit, like they thought like millions of people were gonna die. I mean, like, and they have for sure.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. It's been such a strange time, and but at the same time, it's like, I mean, that is it feels like that is how things go though, right? Because it's like there was influenza, and then eventually now we have this like trickle down shit that's just the flu. You know, it's like, all right, yeah, it won't devastate you, but you know, you could probably get a shot for it if you want one, you know. It's like that's kind of where we're at with it now. It's like, oh yeah, you know, whatever, take some Dayquil, whatever. You know? Like before all this, it would be like you call in sick to work, and most places would be like, dog, drink some fucking Robitussin. And like, you want me to pick you up? Like, I'll get you some soup. Now it's probably going to be a whole different ball game, even if you're just regularly sick. Now, I think that's a thing. Is I think we're gonna take just like every other regular like sickness a little bit more seriously, just because as far as like infection, because it's like apparently right now there's been 0 cases of the flu, like kind of going or you know. Or it's like super low numbers to the point, you know, because it's probably just more, you know, for one, the mask and shit, you know, people washing their hands more. And then like, you know, people aren't really going to the hospital as much unless it's for COVID. So it's like,
I think the masks and just saying, hey, stay 6 feet away. I think that's a really smart thing. Do you think we're going to keep the masks for like years to come, or
I hope not? Because I heard an analogy that it feels like it feels like telling somebody to wear some underwear to cover up a fart. And I thought that was a fucking amazing analogy, because I was just like, holy shit. Because they're like, yeah, you know, it's like, it's better than like getting blasted by a bare ass fart, but it's like you can still smell that shit through, you know, it's like it still gets through. And
man.
And like, I don't know. So it's just like, it's still, if it comes down to particles, it's like still things get through to where it's just like, you know, people will be like up in the grocery store with just a bandana on and shit, to where it's just like, I mean, what really counts?
Fart must get through.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you must wear a face mask, but then it's like, all right, as long as you just have anything covering your mouth, we'll just accept it. But it's like, all right, I guess. Like if you told somebody, like if it was like during the AIDS pandemic, it's like, all right, I don't have a condom, but I have some, like I got some saran wrap, you know. It's like, you know, it don't really like, work as well, but it, you know, like, you know, it looks like it works, you know. It's like, that's basically like what that is. And it's like, we allow that though. It's like, I'm just like, there's such an inconsistency with it all that it's hard to like take something seriously.
It is. Well, I was telling my wife when we, you know, back when me and you did the show probably in June, and they were opening things back up. And I go, this makes no sense because the virus is still out there. And once we start bumping into each other again, it's just going to start spreading, and then we're going to have to go in again. Because I was saying, until everyone gets a vaccination, it's just going to keep going through. But the big thing with this is it feels like you were just mentioning about how eventually it'll probably just be a cold thing. It feels like this is almost just like two ends of the extreme. Like if you don't have pre-existing conditions and you're under 70 or something, like it's barely anything. But then once you're above that 70 or you have a pre-existing condition, like, oh man, it could be a death sentence, because the way your body handles it, it just seems so much more deadly when you meet those other two criteria.
For sure.
So yeah, and then as far as masks go, I don't know. I just forget my mask. That's my main thing. And then when you forget it, you're like, oh, I can't go anywhere. Yeah. So it's just one more thing you got to remember to bring with you.
And I hate that, because I'm just like, I gotta make this as part of my habit right now, but like one day it probably won't need to be, and then I'm just gonna be like, God damn it. And it's like right now I have to be at a point, and it's like, yeah, I literally can't go inside of a place unless I have a fucking mask on, which is like, all right, it's not that big of a deal, but it's like, if you forget that thing's like the worst moment ever, because then it's just like, God damn it. And it's like, I only really carry like the one on me. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should just carry a bunch of them at you know, in my car. But I'll whole ass like go to the store, forget my mask, and then just be like, God damn it. And I have to like turn around and go all the way back home just to grab a mask. And I'm just like, dude.
Because it's like you said, walking into a store without a mask, obviously they won't even let you in, but if you did it even on accident, you would feel so weird. That'd be like walking to school without your pants on or something.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that like, if you're gonna do it, you got to commit to it. You know, it's like how far you want to go with it. You know, It's like, I'm fucking naked. Big fucking deal, dude. You know, it's like you have to like put it on them, and then you're probably gonna end up on like Facebook or some shit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it'll go viral. But you know how you mentioned that some people wear bandanas? What if you forget your mask and just go into the store like this with your shirt? Do you think they let you do that?
I mean, that's what a bandana is to me.
That is a bandana.
I mean, that is like so. It's like if I could just take another shirt and then like just wrap it over myself like a Somali pirate. Like, would that like be okay too? I don't know. There's a hard criteria. It's just one of those things. I think people are just like, you know, like if I still like I used to manage a grocery store, so it's like if I had to deal with this shit, if someone walked in and someone did that, I'd just be like, bro, I make $12 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna give me this right now?
Yeah.
Like I would just like I just put it back on them. Like I'd be like, come on, man. I don't even care about your opinion on this. I just this is a thing. You know you're doing a thing. Don't make this a thing. Like why you gotta make this a thing? Just go get your apples and your potatoes and get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah.
You know? It's like I don't like it either, but fuck.
You're being that guy.
Yeah, you're being that that's the thing, like in any confrontation that I ever got into like at the grocery store, that's all it is. It's like you just have to point out to somebody. It's like, hey, you're making a whole ass thing right now. You know, you know.
You gotta stop.
Like more often than not, it's just like, oh, okay.
Hey, Ryne, we didn't touch on Mandalorian yet.
Not yet. No, I was gonna ask you because I did see that you've been like,
is
that kind of like a separate off-brand like show you're doing, or is that just kind of like a part of your usual thing, but you just mix it in?
I just mixed it in, but the guy I was doing it with, Ezra Paco, he's been doing a lot of Zoom comedy in Pete Munoz's room.
Yeah.
And he was he's like really into, collectibles and comics and sci-fi. And I was like, hey man, you want to do a reoccurring Mandalorian? Cause I was so into Mandalorian in season 1 and season 2.
Dude.
But I wanted to talk about it more.
Good,
so you're into it too, right?
Oh yeah, no, because I'm a young guy, but I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan.
There you go.
I was put on. I can't really remember what exactly put me on, but I remember being a young guy. Like I remember being excited for the prequels, seeing the prequels, and it's like I still liked it because I was a kid. I didn't know fucking like hardcore fans didn't like it. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, oh yeah, Darth Maul, awesome, double lightsabers, cool, I'm on.
Yeah,
lightsaber fights, and it's like, and I grew up playing video games, so I grew up on all the Star Wars video games and shit like that. So I've always just been on board, and it's like, of course, I've been one of the kind of dorks that like I've dipped into some of like the fiction aspects to it all, and I've looked up like the Mandalorian kind of lore and shit like that, and I've always was like, dude, if they ever make a show or a movie about just the Mandalorians, like that shit will go off, and fucking lo and behold, like. They finally did. I was like, yeah, no, I have fucking, and like, not only did they do it, but it's done so fucking well too. Like,
yeah,
I'm so pumped. Like, how did you feel about that finale, dude? I cried, man. Like, when I seen that X-wing pull in, I was like, no fucking way. Like, I was watching it with my girlfriend. Like, I do not react to shit really like that, like at all. And I was just like, no fucking way. No fucking way. I just could not stop it. I was like, no way. I was like, it can't be him. I was like, it can't be. I was like, how could it be? I was like, how could it be? I was like, holy shit. Like, I had like all the emotions. And then like when I seen his face, I was just like, this is how they, like those 3 new movies, they fucked all that shit up.
Yeah, they did. So, okay. So then let's kick around theories. So I loved it. I loved both seasons. I loved the ending on both seasons. And I think that told so much of the backstory and filled in so many spots. And like you said, the way they shot it, the special effects, the just everything about it, the editing, the writing, I think it's almost like one of these perfect things. But I really like the ending. So do you think Grogu went to the same school that Luke had started, and where I'm drawing a blank now. The kid who he was training, who went Han Solo's son,
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. Do you think he was in school? Do you think Luke brought him to the same place where Kylo Ren would eventually be?
So I'm fucking wondering that because apparently they're gonna be working on because like all those new slates of shows that are gonna be coming out. Apparently one of them's gonna retcon the new 3 movies and like be like, oh, that was some other shit, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. If that's true, then I'm like, all right, then I'm gonna just ride whatever ride because right that's an inconsistency right there. Is like if he's because it's like okay, it's already like you're telling me that he's from the school that Anakin killed all the kids in, but somehow he made it out. And then on top of that, is he one of the kids that also is like. I mean, he's not really a kid, but is he also one of the ones that eventually? I mean, he must be right, like one of like Luke's disciples or whatever. Eventually, later on, if they still run with that storyline,
because you hit the nail on the head. So 7, 8, and 9, the only one we know about that Luke tried to train was Kylo Ren. But then if you look at the timeline, Mandalorian takes place after the destruction of the second Death Star in Return of the Jedi. Yeah. But before we know about Rey and Kylo Ren and all this other stuff, right?
Even before the New Order. Like we're still in this place where it's the rebellion. Well, it's not the rebellion, it's the Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the Republic is in charge and then, the Empire is still kind of fledgling out.
They're underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're now the rebels.
They're the rebels. Yeah. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Are you looking forward to the Boba Fett series?
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking forward. I will watch every. Yeah. When they announced all of those shows, even when they announced the Bad Batch, I'm like, oh, I'm really gonna go run back all of the Star Wars Rebel because I've never seen any of the animated shit.
I'm working on right now.
And I'm finished. Go ahead.
Yeah, me and my kids, we finished Rebels, and now we're working on Clone Wars.
Oh, okay. And is that the order to do it in too? Rebels and then Clone Wars?
Probably it would have been better to do Clone Wars than Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some callbacks in Rebels, but I think Rebels came I think it came kind of midway through Clone Wars. They had 2 going at the same time, I think.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
Here's the problem though. Clone Wars is so long. Like I think it's 7 seasons and each season has something like 30 or something episodes. Oh, wow. So I mean, me and the kids, we're only on like season 4 or 5 and it feels like we've been watching forever because it's just like each one's 22, 24 minutes, something like that. So just imagine, 7 seasons of a little bit shorter of Mandalorian. So it takes a while to catch up. But so far, I would say just personally, I kind of like Rebels more than I'm liking Clone Wars. Because when they say Clone Wars, like literally every episode is battles where you're seeing they'll kind of have a side story going on where there's like political intrigue and conflict, personal conflict. But then the next half of the cartoon, it's almost all fighting. And so it's kind of getting a little monotonous just seeing fight after fight for 7 seasons or whatever.
Okay.
So, but Rebels was all like intrigue and problem solving and, going on different missions. So it wasn't, there was conflict, there was shooting, obviously, there was lasers and fights, but it was like a quick to get to the next step of their mission. It wasn't the whole scene.
I wonder if there's something to it, like, because maybe like the Clone Wars when it first came out, it was still kind of following like that old cartoon kind of formula of like, okay,
like a G.I. Joe.
Like this is for kids. We format it out. It has a certain, bing, bang, boom. It follows the thing. Whereas it's like Rebels was probably, I don't know the date, but that might have came after Avatar. So like it might have been during that era where like a lot of people switched up their shit to where they're like, all right, Avatar proved that we can like make serious shit. So let's just make something that's serious and kids are going to like it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I think
the Bad Batch definitely looks like it's for fucking, like, it doesn't look like it's violent or anything like that. It just, to me, it has a tone to where it's like kids can watch this. But it feels geared towards adults to me.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think
great.
that the Star Wars stuff has been really good about kind of catering to both age groups, the kids and the adults, because I feel like even though I'm watching these Clone Wars or Rebels, I still feel like, oh, this is pretty good. And there's a lot of just intrigue and backstabbing that it's, it's enough to keep you stimulated. It's not just like a kid's cartoon.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to like all. Like, is there any one of those like particular like kind of spin-off shows coming up that you're looking forward to?
I think the Boba Fett one.
Yeah.
So this is this is the question we kind of left off in my last Mandalorian podcast. Is we were like, well, now that the Mandalorian and Grogu are split up, is either storyline compelling enough to keep watching it? I mean, of course, the answer is yes, because they introduced a lot of characters, but it's kind of like
you mean.
the whole thing was the 2 seasons were all about the two people, the Grogu and the Mandalorian bonding.
Yeah.
Mandalorian trying to find where he belongs. Well, now he found where he's belonged. So what's the story? Where do we go from here?
See, I was wondering that too, because just that right there, because there was so much intrigue into first who is, like, everyone was calling him Baby Yoda. Yep. And like Disney might have even fucked up by like the merchandising by not releasing like his name right away, because everyone got so used to calling him Baby Yoda that like for now and forever they're gonna call him fucking Baby Yoda. Like my girlfriend calls him Baby Yoda and I'll be like, it's Grogu. She's like, it's Baby Yoda. Like, and that's what happens, because like you did a whole season where like you didn't reveal his name, and like so like even when his name was revealed, like it broke my heart to like log onto my internet and like while I'm at work, and I look on my social media and I just see someone that said like they didn't spoil it, but they still were like, we know the child's name.
Yeah.
And I was just like, God damn it, I don't want to know. Like that's still kind of a spoiler, It's like Like, yeah, I don't know the specific name, but you're telling me like, oh, on this episode they finally did. I'm like, God damn it.
Yep.
Like, and to where it's just like that's how invested I was with that show. It was like I was invested to like, okay, who is the child? What the fuck is his story? And then what's the Mando story? And we know, like, it's like you said, like we know everything there is to know now, to where I'm like, honestly, if they ended it here and then they split it off into different stories, I'm not mad. Especially like I just don't know how they can wrap up the Din Djarin, or I can't remember his name, his kind of arc, because it's like, yeah, he had his character development, he grew as a person. Like anything outside of this is either like he's gonna descend into like violence and chaos, or he's just gonna like, maybe he's gonna like go home to that one planet and hook up with what's her face, because now that he doesn't have the child, he can remember like that chick that was just like, oh, you could stay here, but then he's just like, oh yeah, no,
I forgot about that lady. Yeah, that was fun, right?
Saying? Yeah, so it's like he can go back to her and just live like a normal ass life, So it's like they can kind of like give that kind of closure and then just like let him run off into the sunset kind of thing. But I'm like, if they were going to do that, they would have done that with this season. I felt like, because that would have been the best opportunity to do it. Because it's like, man, you better have something good up your sleeve for this third season. Because I don't know, like if like the only thing I could see them doing is some fuck shit where they just like something happens to Grogu again.
Yeah.
And then Luke needs fucking Mando's help or something like that. But
think about that. You're right.
Because it's like, it's like Mando's not even like, he's not like, he don't give a fuck about the Force. He don't give a fuck about the Sith. He don't give a fuck about the Empire.
No.
His little crew of Mandalorians are gone.
Yeah.
So it's like he doesn't really have anywhere, and it's like he was already like an outcast within their fucking Mandalorian culture. So it's just like,
because we learned that wherever he was with all those Mandalorians, that was a cult. And then the Forger was the only one who survived in that last battle. So
it's like, you know, maybe he goes back to her, I guess. But it's like, or you know, like didn't he promise what's her face to restore Mandalore if she helped him
Yes.
do whatever the fuck?
So I think going forward, man, you're making a lot of good points. I think you know what the key is moving forward. I think the storyline for season 3 has to be around the dark saber, because remember how he had it
and he
then
got it by combat. Oh yeah, see, yeah. So now what's her face is gonna come and want to run up on him, like,
there you go.
Yeah, you know what? I know we're cool and all, but I really want that fucking saber, homie.
That's right. Because that Moff Gideon character was like, "Hey, so you guys gonna fight or whatever?" And Darjin is like, "Well, I don't want it. Here you go." And
like,
then he got that look on her face, like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe." Or she got that look, kind of like, "Oh, I can't just take it." And then Moff Gideon's like, "Ha ha ha, sucker! You have to have it now." And when you have the dark saber, technically, I think you're ruling
Mandalore. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. That's gonna be interesting because, and like, he would be kind of the perfect person because he don't give a fuck.
He don't give a fuck, and he's from a cult, so he doesn't even really know the true politics.
But he was like a, you know, he's like a rescued child from a tribe rescued by a cult within fucking their culture. Towards like he's an outcast within an outcast.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so this is still really fucking compelling going forward. Then I take it back.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I forgot whoever has the Darth Saber fucking technically is the ruler of Mandalore.
Yeah.
That's true as fuck. And he has both the Darth Saber and that fucking spear that's made from
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, he's just like he's king as fuck right now, actually. Even if he doesn't want it.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to tag along with him because they're not gonna let the dark saber out of their sight.
Yeah.
So but then what was I gonna say? So Bo-Katan will probably try and I don't know, get it back or whatever. But then I also heard this: the guy who plays Darjin, the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
He's kind of fed up with it. And he doesn't really want to do it any longer. I don't know. That's what Ezra was telling me on one of our podcasts. So maybe like he might only do one more season and then the storyline will have to change. So maybe Bo-Katan could be like somehow jack the dark saber from him this next season.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they did end it in the third season because like it's so good that I don't want it to get to a place to where they're stretching it out.
Thank you.
Like, and Rogue One was so good, and it proved it's like you can kill every fucking character you got, and I'm still gonna love this movie. You know, it's like that proves it because it's like, especially within the Star Wars universe, it's all about fucking the Force and the dark, you know, the light and the dark. It's not necessarily about individual people,
right?
So where it's like people can die in the act of doing things because it's just like in servitude of the light or the dark side of the Force or whatever the fuck, whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that'd be interesting going forward because like, yeah, he's technically the king of Mandalore and old girl definitely wants to be the queen, even if he doesn't want to be it. He's gonna probably, and if, man, that's interesting that Pedro fucking doesn't want it because I'd just be like, dude, you're making fucking, especially because it's like he came off of Narcos and now he's doing this. Like, I'd be trying to dig my heels into fucking that character as much as possible, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sellout because I'm just like, dude, you get the fucking, like, you be known, like, you pretty much like replace Boba Fett, you know? Like, like you're known as like the badass Mandalorian. Like, for the longest time it was Boba Fett, but it's like he never really was a badass. He got fucking he didn't get to show off anything in the movie, and then he just falls into the fucking pit. To where it was just like fans just liking how cool he looked. To where it's just like you're the first Mandalorian to come along and actually like really fucking just like fuck shit up, like, and we get to see it. And it's like you don't have this like weird history. So it's just like, like I'd be trying to dig my heels into that character, man. But like I said, it'd be good if they do kill him off because that'd be a good way to like end his storyline while still giving life to all the other shows.
Yep. Yeah, no, the other shows are going to be great. And I agree with you 100%. I don't like it when writers just keep writing for the sake of writing. Like, put a bow on it, man. I need an ending. What's going to happen here? Because I just don't want to go on and on. So many shows used to do that on network television, but now with streaming, I think most series, they wrap up nicely.
Yeah, because I've seen like some British shows, and a lot of British shows, like that's what, like they're about the story. So they're like, yeah this is like 2 seasons. Fucking deal with it. Life sucks. Like that's like every British show. It's like, yeah, whatever. This is fucking a season long. Who cares? Whatever. Yeah. There's fucking 12 episodes. That's it. That's all we did. Go home, watch something else. Like, like they just have like a billion fucking shows to where it's just like you get like this, like they're not really long, but they have a beginning, a middle, and an end, like they're about a specific thing, to where it's just like over in America, we're just like, these shows are like big jobs for people. So it's just like, well, why would I fucking want to stop doing work? It's like, well, you can go work somewhere else. And it's like, well, I don't want to work somewhere else.
Yeah.
What if somewhere else is making this kind of money? Like, so I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you're an art, man. Like, you gotta the show has to be about a specific thing, and you gotta wrap it up at a certain point. You can't 100%. just try to ride it out as long as you can. That's not the move.
No.
I think if anything too, like with all these companies, it like how they're like, okay, we did the Mandalorian, and then they were like, okay, by the way, this is like how we're introducing all these other fucking shows. I think that's like the way to do things now. It's like you just do something, it has its own little arc, and then it off branches onto other things, and then they have their own little arcs.
Yeah. I think that's the way it's going to be going forward. Wait, hold on. Before I move on too far, speaking of Pedro Pascal, did you watch the newest Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I did. I didn't finish all of it just because it was hard to. Like I was watching it in pieces just because I kept doing things in and out, and I would kind of like have it on in the background or whatever. But then at a certain point, I was like about to like put it on again because I was like, oh, I got to finish that. I didn't really watch it all. And then I was like, you know what? I'm like an hour in, and I just don't know when this fucking thing is starting. And I'm seeing a lot of other people kind of like, it's not really worth it. Or I'm like, I'm just gonna let my imagination play out how the rest of this one. So I don't really watch all of it, but the parts that I seen Pedro Pascal play he was fantastic in it.
Yeah.
But everything else was like, all right, when does this movie start?
He was definitely intense. It was an interesting villain. I thought it was an interesting villain the way it played out.
Just like so like fucking like slimy and like smarmy and just so desperate. That's the thing. It's just like so just pure just desperation and patheticness. I think that's a word, but whatever. Patheticness. Running with it. Yeah, like he was just like you felt it on him. Like he did really good. To where it's like, if he just wants to like go off and like do a bunch of movies and whatever, it's like, all right, I get it. Like you probably got the juice now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because he did. Okay. So I forgot about Narcos. So he did Game of Thrones. He did a season or two of Game of Thrones.
See, I forgot about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And then he did Narcos. And then now he's in Mandalorian. And then he did Dub 84. So damn, he's actually really I didn't realize how much stuff he's doing.
So it's like I get it if he wants to like really try to become just like one of those new leading man kind of things and whatnot. But I'm just like, fuck, man, Mandalorian's good.
Really?
But I get it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What was your favorite episode this season for Mandalorian?
Oh, dude. Was the Timothy Olyphant episode this season?
Timothy Olyphant.
Where he initially gets Boba Fett's armor?
Yeah, that was this season.
That was this season. Yeah, I think that might have been it. Because I'm a fan of Timothy Olyphant.
Okay.
He's been in a bunch of things that I really like. So I like that he kind of like it was kind of a reprisal of his Deadwood character in some ways, but in space. So I was like, fuck yeah. Because like that's all this show is to me, is just like it's just a space Western. You know, like very much how like Star Wars was a space opera, like now Mandalorian's a space Western. And it's like the best formula ever. And it's funny because Netflix was working on a live action Cowboy Bebop, but then a couple stars got injured and then COVID happened. So like they've been massively delayed. But I've just been like, Mandalorian is the live action Cowboy Bebop that you want. Like,
Yes.
It already exists. It's called The Mandalorian. Just move on to something else, Netflix. Like, don't
even if
bother.
you think about how he enters in the scene, the music that's playing, it's always gives you a feeling like, oh, this could be a Clint Eastwood show right now.
Exactly. No, and that's why I love the show so much, is because it's so rooted in that feel of Western more than it's trying to be rooted in that Star Wars feel. Because I think like those three, like I really don't like those new movies. Like I only watched like the first two, and then like I've seen like bits of the last one. I was just like, whatever.
The last was really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I was all, but it was it was not good.
I just felt like it was trying to be a part of the Star Wars universe, whereas like Star Wars beforehand was just kind of like, this is just what this is. Whereas like this was just like, oh yeah, remember this person? It was just like trying to be like all fan service rather than like, just tell me a story that exists within this universe.
Right.
Like, I don't want to like see something that's just like, remember all these people that were in the ones before, and you know, here's all this stuff they can do now that you didn't know that they can do, and whatever. And it's like, whatever. But the Mandalorian has been like the best piece of Star Wars thing that has come along since this like Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm.
I agree. Well, Rogue One, I liked Rogue One.
Rogue One was amazing because like Rogue One came out after the first new Star Wars movie, right? Like it was like, I forget. It was like 7, and then Rogue One, and then 8 and 9. Movies, I think that's what it was. So it's like Rogue One was already so good on its own, but I remember being able to like compare it to the other ones, and I was just like, the moment I seen Rogue One, I was like, why the fuck can't the other new movies be like this?
You know what one I did like, and people give me shit for this? I liked Solo.
Oh yeah, I never watched that one, so I never really want to. Like I've heard mixed things. I've heard people say they like it, and I've heard people say they don't like it, and I've heard people like that I know that are Star Wars fans. I'm like, yeah, I liked it. I liked it for what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't check that one out.
I'm down with origin stories. Yeah. So I think that was an origin story that they had. They had to do that one. I mean, because Solo, so much of what makes him a badass is what you hear about what happened in his past. Yeah,
that's true. Like you see him kind of do a couple things in the movies, but it's all like the old shit.
Yep.
And I think a buddy of mine, because my only question, I was like, do they do the Parsec run? And they're like, yeah, they do the Parsec run. Like he didn't even really feel like, he's like, yeah, they do it, but it's like a fan service kind of thing. Felt. But I was like, all right, well, fuck. Like, you know, I still want to see that.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited for the Obi-Wan origin show.
That's
be coming out. Like that's, especially because they have Ewan McGregor fucking reprising his role in it as well. And to where I'm like, well, then obviously it must be in the storyline of when he goes to Tatooine. I would think like it has to be an older, you know, I would imagine that they, you know, because Ewan McGregor's older, so they just use what's natural. Like, all right, yeah, let's just continue the story from, you know, what he was up to right before Luke, you know, found him, kind of a thing.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, because it's like he definitely trained and grew different skill sets as an older man. So it's like there's a lot to tell that you could make up. in that in between time.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm interested in this fucking that shit. But
I don't know. I think they have like dozens of different shows planned for the Star Wars universe. So it's probably gonna be, there's gonna be some good ones and there's gonna be some bad ones.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of more like on the horizon that they have like The ones that they've taught, the ones they've released are just the ones they've talked about. Like they're still working on other ones too. Like apparently there's still talk on a Qui-Gon Jinn origin like movie or cool. show. And fucking Liam Neeson was like, yeah, I'll fucking star in that. Like he's like, oh, well, I'll do the space movie again. Like, he didn't give a fuck. So he's like, apparently like, yeah, he would be on board. So it's like, because I guess there's a rumor that he pops up in the fucking Obi-Wan show. And people are like, you know, I've seen people are like, well, yeah, he should pop up. Fucking,
yeah, he has to.
He's like, he popped up as a fucking ghost in, you know, the end of all the other movies and shit. Towards just like, yeah, he just like, because of the, you know, because of Lucasfilm going back and digitally touching up shit, he pops up randomly at the end of fucking Return of the Jedi with Yoda and whatnot. Yep. And it's like, all right, like we get who that is, but like Luke doesn't know who the fuck that is. It's like, yeah, they're just randomly, here's Liam Neeson. Remember him from the prequel movies?
Yeah,
like,
that's true, huh?
It's like, that only applies to us, you fucks. Like, it doesn't apply to him. It's like, he would only see Yoda because he fucking was trained by Yoda. Like,
yeah, why not just show all the Jedis ever if that's the case?
You know? Yeah, like, that's why it's so, it's funny. It's funny. But, hell yeah, man. Yeah, dude, I very much fucking appreciate you for fucking coming on. We're like an hour 16 deep.
It goes quick, doesn't it?
It really does, especially when you talking with someone that does a show too, because you know, like, you know, you've been in the rhythm of like just keeping the wheels moving.
Yeah,
I've had the pleasure of having another guy on the show that hosts his own show, 360 Radio. His name's Henny Holyfield out of Sacramento, and you know, it was another one of those real easy, like we just slipped through an hour and it just got right by to where, yeah.
What do you think the sweet spot is for time? Because
it's just whatever you want it to be honest. I feel it in the moment, like especially with this, like, you know, I saw we went to an hour, but like we were already still kind of like talking, and you know, it wasn't really like you know, I didn't want to like cut it off or anything like that. So I was like, let's just see where this goes, kind of a thing. To where it's like I feel like depending on the guests and the conversation, like you feel in the conversation, because I've had times where I speak to people and it's like, all right, this is a cool little 40-minute episode. Like, you know, it's like, I think we covered all the stuff in the things, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that like go, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours long. That's just, I think it's just whatever you want it to be, whatever you have the stamina for. It depends on what you want your show to be though, I think. I think an ideal spot is an hour though. I always try to hit an hour for sure. Especially,
that's what I think.
Go ahead.
Between 40 and 60 minutes is the sweet spot. I've gone really long. I think I've done like 2 hour 40 before, but it was with Iman Dismore, and once he gets on his ideas and you start going back and forth, and then eventually I was kind of like, you know, like 2 hours in, I was like, hey, we should wrap this up. Yeah. But then he would jump off into something else, and then we keep going. And then finally,
like, for sure.
2:30, I go, all right, dude, let's just wrap it up. And then we went 10 minutes longer, and then we wrapped it up.
Because there'll be times too where like I'll be like, oh damn, we're an hour deep. We didn't even talk about like your stuff and your things. Like you want to like plug that really quick and stuff. So where it's like, and then now we'll take another, you know, bit to where it's like, yeah, I think an hour is a good sweet spot. Like I think what you just said, 40 minutes to an hour, because especially, you know, I still have some fucking aspirations of doing comedy, you know, when the world goes back to normal. So especially now that I have so much experience just having like a stream of consciousness go on for an hour, I'm a little bit more comfortable on the mic. I wonder how that can translate over to when I start preparing bits again and,
well,
you know, getting
let me
in front
ask
of folks.
This. If you were to do this, let's say this was your job, doing radio show or podcast, then do you think you could do it like 3 hours, 4 hours per day? Or would it drive you crazy?
If it was my job, I would do it 3 to 4 hours a day for sure. And I would go nuts with like the graphics and all that kind of stuff, because like I'm at my regular job, like, fuck, I wish I was just like at home fucking just like making another thumbnail or fucking another day. Like, cause like I'll like be like at home seeing something that I made. I'm like, I could have done it fucking better, man, but I fucking had to wake up for work this morning or something like that. You know, it's like, you know, there's all those little things to where I'm like, yeah, no, if this was my job, I could probably fucking crank this out. I could probably crank out 3 to 4 hours like every single day if I really wanted to. It probably won't be great, but like if it was a job and I was like making some cool money on it, like I'll fucking make up something. I'll scum every possible headline that I could find, and I don't know what the show would revolve into, but I would find a way to make something out of it for sure.
But when you think about it, if you're doing something every day, like a radio show, they can't all be good. Like let's take Howard Stern, for example. He's been doing it since the mid 80s. Like how many shows, if you took a percentage of every show he ever did, what percentage do you think are really good and worth listening to start to finish? Maybe like 50%, 40%? I don't know.
I'd say somewhere between like 20 to 50, somewhere around there.
That's what I think. I think when you are talking 4 hours a day, a lot of that talk is just going to be nonsense, just right?
Talk. And it's like, there's sometimes like I'll be listening to a podcast and like a podcast is another great example. Cause it's like, I love someone's show one day and then I'm listening to an episode the other day and I'll be like, you know, Steve Austin, I really don't give a fuck about you buying car insurance today right now. You know, I think I'm going to switch it over to someone else.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes somebody will say some shit on their show to I'm like, I'm not tuning into this motherfucker for like 3 months now.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even because they're like bad or anything. It's just like, I'm like, oh man, you just lost me today. And then I'm going somewhere else for right now. But that's just natural. It's like, cause like you can't, you know, it's like, it's just like, especially if you do it every single day. Like, and I was doing some every day there just to make my own quota. And I was like, there's some episodes where like, I labeled them like, this is that Naruto filler today. This is just like, I'm fucking hitting you with whatever today. I don't give a fuck, fool. We're just making the number today, dude. Like, I would just be right out. I'm like, this is gonna be like a 30-minute episode today. We're just making the number. I told everybody in the live chat that I was like, as long as we can make over 30 minutes, like that's all I'm cool. That's all I'm counting an episode.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah, man, it's tough. I appreciate you. I appreciate you reaching out to me, man. This is a lot of fun. And the next time we do it, I'll be in your studio next time.
Oh yeah. No, hell yeah. You're always welcome for sure. And I'm always, you know, working at this and keep upgrading and improving. So hopefully by at some point I'm actually like in a studio again. But
yeah, I would like that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Anything you would like to fucking plug or promote right before you fucking head on out of here?
Hey, to all the listeners out there, check out my channel, Am I Making Sense? It's on YouTube. Also, if you're into just listening to podcasts, if you go to any of your podcast platforms like the Google Podcasts or Apple, whatever they call that, and then Stitcher, Spotify, Am I Making Sense? It's on all of them. And if you just like listening to comedians just shoot the shit and talk about everything and nothing all at once, check it out. And then I don't know, I'm on a lot of Zoom mics, but I bounce around, so there's nowhere to really go. You know what I need to start doing? I need to start making a calendar and putting it on my website or something, because I do have a URL, mmfmccarron.com. And so I'll probably put a calendar up there at some point, because people can check me out on Zoom.
Yeah, maybe if there's like a couple consistent ones you do, like promote those ones, and then like whatever other ones you do, like that's for you. And then like the the ones where you're like, all right, and that's even a way of kind of being able to like, all right, I'm gonna work on shit on these other ones, and then on these consistent ones, that's where I'm gonna like kind of have some sort of a bit.
Yep.
So
yeah. Plan.
Hell yeah, man. No, and I definitely, if you guys are watching still, I put in the links in the description already beforehand before we did the episode, so you can just click on the info of this and go right over to Am I Making Sense? And I forgot that you were on the audio also. Like, that's super clutch. So I'm going to be listening to those episodes, because like dude, I am a podcast fucking junkie. Like, I will run through 4 episodes. I will run through like a 4-hour episode of something, anything. And I'll just be like, God damn it, I need another one. Like, it's not enough, man. Like, and it's not even like I'm really super intently listening all the time. It's just like when I'm at work, like music is great, but you just can't. I just can't just listen to only music all day long, every single day. Like I have to switch it up. So it's like,
yep. I'm the same way.
So, the podcasts are excellent for that. So hell yeah, man. Yeah. Make sure you guys are going to tune in to Am I Making Sense? But yeah, I appreciate you for fucking coming on, sir. I was telling the folks beforehand, you're always folks that I like to tune into just because we started pretty much around the same time. So, it's just interesting to be able to like keep touching back in with you. Like, hey, how are you figuring this out so far?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. I'm doing this. It's like, that's kind of been like how we do it. And it's always been great. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll bump out of the,
Yeah. And I'm just going to click you off over here. So you all
right
good.
on. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Later. And that is how you do that, folks. That was the boy, Matthew McCarron. Yeah, like I said, I just like to tune in with him because we started around the same time, and he's just a great fucking dude, man. Like, there's just no bullshit to him. Like, he's just solid and a straight shooter and just a nice guy. So, and he just genuinely just likes the art and likes shooting the shit with folks. So always welcome on this show for sure. Sorry I was ignoring y'all. I seen y'all saying hi. What's up, Pixie? What's up, Nathan? What's up, Blue? Swammy, Zan. Hi, Allie. I rap on point. What's up? Happy New Year to you too, sir. And fuck off, of course. And Crooked TV. All the fucking folks are in here. Like I said, didn't mean to necessarily ignore y'all. Just when I'm tuning in with a Zoom guest, I'm a little more engaged. But yeah, man, that was a great episode. I feel great, at least. I hoping you guys are having a great night or a great morning or whenever you're watching this. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm doing this every Monday and Wednesday right here, 9 p.m. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ryne_radio. Very simple. I anything, if you want to stay up to date with the show, I post everything on there. Shout out once again. Boy Dan, and that's a fucking show, everybody. Yeah, I hope you're loving yourself, but also loving the folks around you. And I hope you're washing your ass, washing your hands, and wearing a mask. And we're gonna deal some death on the way out of here. You guys take it motherfucking easy.
Yeah, put them things when you see us. Like, what's the big idea? Bentley, Benz, or Beamer, we be swinging like we teed up. They don't know shit. Pull up, then we swipe before they re-up. They don't know shit. Glock up in their face so they don't see us. Put them things when you see us. Like, what's the big idea? Bentley, Benz, or Beamer, we be swinging like we teed up. They don't know shit. Pull up, then we swipe before they re-up. They don't know shit. Glock up in their face so they don't see us. Hey, I'll roll a chopper out the back, then pull the big out. She think I'm Rambo when I'm shirtless with the stick out. Black on black when we attack, we never stick out. I get to squeeze until it's empty, pop the clip out. You share your your business with these bitches, let it slip out. You give your money to that house, so you a trick now. I don't say shit to the bitches, pull my dick out. First we fucked, and when I'm finished, I'ma spit. Shit, my dogs is barking and got the taste for blood. Pop shit, you get your top split, I left them laying her. 9 true, you get your mind blue, but what you tryna do? Slide through, must I remind you? I be almost sipping a 40, gripping a 40, I'll let one go up at your face and get distorted, End of the story, it's not important, we celebrate and spin your block up in that euphoria. I got magazines for your issues. Activate with the pistol. I'm at your face like some tissue. If I bless you, I won't miss you. Bullets guided like a missile. Now they're gliding through your tissue. Hit your bitch, your friends, your family, anybody riding with you. Little bitch, I walking like I'm God, but I'm a demon to you. Little bitch, I keep the pump on deck, but I ain't cleaning the pool. You feel that barrel bust. You feel that marrow crush. Little bitch, I rock enough gold to make a pharaoh blush. You put them things when you see us. Like what's the big idea? Bentley, Benz, or Beamer, we be swinging like we teed up. They don't know shit. Pull up, then we swipe them for they re-up. They don't know shit. Glock up in their face so they don't see us. Put them things when you see us. Like what's the big idea? Bentley, Benz, or Beamer, we be swinging like we teed up. They don't know shit. Pull up, then we swipe them for they re-up. They